When I started this channel, I did it out of excitement to share some software engineering tips with the world, but it was at the same time that AI was first coming out. Very soon it became apparent to me that in the near future, no one will actually care about the software engineering principles, so I immediately abandoned the idea. Was I right? Looking back, it's been 3 years, and I can say, yeah, I was, but at the same time, I was a bit too early with my assumptions. For a long time, I didn't use much of AI outside of Copilot, which, yeah, it was nice. It was like an LSP. It started completely the line here and there, sometimes correctly, sometimes not that correctly, sometimes just took random guesses. But as the time went by, personally, I started finding it more annoying because I work in a very niche um, sector of the software engineering, and it used to get everything wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong, it still does, at least in my sector, which is basically telephony. So when it started auto-completing functions and several lines, it started becoming annoying, and I actually had to stop using it. It was more of a burden than an actual benefit. I went back to it, right? Did some manual configuration only to allow to get 1 or 2 lines of code every time. And I used that for a long time. And then it had vibe coding, which for me was quite late in the game. I'm not completely vibe coding. I mean, even now, what I do is I describe the problem. Claude, for example, comes up with a solution, and I review every line. And most of the times, I have to change every line because, like I said, sometimes, right, when, for example, you have to write a Camellia configuration, right, it uses syntax from a decade ago, because I guess all the examples out there are from a decade ago. So you have to correct, fix it. Does it help? Yes, it does. So what's my point? What's the point of all this? The point is I keep seeing people being disappointed on how this industry is going, and business is demanding more and more AI pipelines and AI tools and workflows. And I think there are things that it gets correctly most of the times, like building APIs, right, or some front end work. It does get messier the bigger the code base becomes. Sometimes it does help you to do it faster, sometimes it doesn't. There have been several times that it had actually slowed me down because it jumped to the wrong conclusions, which made me jump to the wrong conclusions, and went down a rabbit hole that has nothing to do with the actual problem. But there are a category of people that are so excited about this that they're getting blindsided by everything. I had a colleague at some point which told me, wouldn't it be nice if we went to bed, the AI did all our job for us, and then wake up and everything would be done. I told me, what's the point? Why would the company even hire you to do that? I mean, fortunately, we're at the point that everything now needs careful reviewing, especially in my sector. I have to keep insisting. If someone else in telephony had a better experience than me, let me know. I get mostly outdated stuff, mostly wrong. I have told myself that if I ever leave this job, I don't think I'm going back to software engineering anymore. And it's not because I don't enjoy my job anymore. I still like it even with these tools. I don't care that much. What always excited me was to find problems. And some problems are really hard to find. And I was really good at it, and I'm still are. Still I'm good at it. When you work on a platform that produces millions of logs per second, having AI analyze it is a recipe for bankruptcy, at least in my opinion. And now that tokens get even more expensive, I see people starting to actually limit the usage. And I don't see in any way, shape or form becoming cheaper. My bigger concern about this is that they basically hooked up everyone. Well, not everyone. A lot of people, a lot of devs. And now they're putting a paywall into software engineering. It's still early days, so you can still learn and do things the old ways. But the narrative is that if you don't join, you're going to be left behind. I think we are reaching a peak now, especially when you understand how these models work, right? If you have used machine learning to write a prediction algorithm, right? You know that in order for them to get better, you have to reside in techniques that will require even more power, even more calculations. We'll see. I mean, I think we will see the real prices after some big companies go public, like OpenAI or Anthropic. If they don't, we won't see the actual cost. Because even now that the prices went up, I still believe we're on the luring phase, right? They're trying to lure you in. And they have successfully lured in a lot of developers, and now they're trying to lure in the businesses. And I have many friends that their companies basically say that, yeah, no more manual coding, everything AI. Which is funny because in some cases they basically give them a $20 subscription and they tell them, oh, yeah, here you go. For the entire month. Which, if you use it for everything, you're probably going to burn this subscription in like 3 days. Which is very funny. No offense. In the meantime, I have found enjoyment in music, which, like, I was always into music, but the last year and a half, I went into modular synthesizers, and I have a second channel that I keep posting music, which is never going to become big, but I don't really care about it. I'm just doing it for my enjoyment. And the conclusion is, from now on, I'm trying to redirect my enjoyment and peace of mind on other things. One of them is music. And I hope the next few years are interesting. And nothing more than that. Yeah, but let's see where things go from now on. And I wish good luck to everyone.